Hey y'all, Roland Smith here, Mountain Bush Crafters Alliance. Well, night has fallen, of course. Been out there in the skinning shed tying up a few loose ends, getting ready for trap season. Got my flashing beam ready, my traps dyed and waxed and ready, and I'm ready. But I thought I'd wind up today maybe making a little video on traps, so stay with me. Well, I probably could have waited till morning, stepped over in the woods, and gave the effect that I'm out in the mountains. But what good would that have done? Got a lot of questions from the MBA members, things I want to answer. And before I get started, now first of all, I'm no professional, don't claim to be. Just a common old feller with common ways. And everything that I have learned has been through trial and error. And the greater part of it being error, being mistakes on my behalf. And let me tell you, when you make a mistake, you value what you've learned from that mistake. Trust me, I know. But it's been raining about all day, and I was thinking of how trap season is coming. And here in the southeast region of Kentucky, we have a lot of wet weather during the winter months. And where I go, there's a few access roads. There's a little bit of road trapping, but where I go, you're either on foot or you don't go. And that's just the way it is here. A little different than trapping in the flatlands. Hill country is my country. But I sacrificed us a trap nonetheless for the sake of this video. Sacrificed. What do you mean by sacrifice? Well, I handled it with my bare hands without gloves. This trap is contaminated and is no longer of use to me until it is rewaxed, cleaned and rewaxed, boiled and rewaxed. But the first and foremost thing that I have learned this season already is to go ahead and get you a trap pan tester. Save yourself some backache, some trouble and aggravation. If you're running 60 traps or 600 traps, you try to set pay attention on those traps to get it right. You're going to be fatigued and you're not going to get it right. Or you're going to be wore out, sore like I am. I think we done 40 traps, and I feel all 40 traps. Trust me, I do. But, kind of like the old fella used to say, I know how to fly a helicopter, but I've never sat in one. You get a whole lot of that when you run into a lot of YouTube videos. A lot of people, as far as the quick tips and easy methods, stay away from them. If you've got a foundation of what you're doing, build on that foundation. Stay with it. If you make mistakes, learn from your mistakes. That is my advice to you. Now, back to the traps. I got a lot of people asking a lot of questions. This is the slack jaw, that's the lock jaw. That there in the middle is the pan. See how the pan is riding high. Push on your dog a little bit. There we go. Dropped it down. Looks a little better. Now I'll probably jump. But on this trap pan tester, each mark represents a pound. Roughly 3 to 4 pound for a coyote. If you have loose pans, and I'm speaking from experience, you're going to catch crows and squirrels and rabbits and little spotted skunks. And in my area, you catch a little spotted skunk, you say, hello, Mr. Game Warden, I've caught a spotted skunk, because they are protected. Then you have to work it out with him. Set your pan tension. 3 to 4 pound. See what I got. Now I'll probably jump, but it's all good. Right at 3 pounds. Right at 3 pounds on that trap. Now, every year, check your pan tension. Because as that trap discharges, people say, no, it won't. It'll loosen. There we go. Set all your traps with your feet. Well, I sure do. Always have. I'm puny. Now, see how the pan's riding high again? Drop it down. See if we lost anything. That's what I'm after. When that trap jumps, the sheer force of that jump, that pressure, do you lose anything on your pan? Now, it was almost 3 pounds. It was right at 3 pounds. That's the question. Lost a little bit. Sure did. Makes you flinch, don't it? Does me. Try setting about 40 of them. Whew. Nevertheless, get your trap pan tension. Or a trap pan tester. I don't know if they make another brand other than Sullivan's, and if you've got another method that works for you, stick with what works for you. I'm not trying to sell you a trap pan tester. I'm just saying, for you fellas on NBA that's thinking about getting into trapping, that's my advice. Save yourself a whole lot of heartache. But I'm hoping that you'll follow along with me during trap season. I make videos nearly every day, whether I get a catch or a miss or something that sparks my interest, something I want to share. Make a video about every day on the line, November the 12th, up until about the last of February. Then I go in for surgery again. I put it off until after trap season. Got to have a tendon on the bottom of my foot repaired. It's all good. Not complaining. Muscle through it. Suck it up, buttercup, and move on. But as far as myths, misconceptions, and misunderstandings in trapping, a lot of people say don't use water with your wax. I use about 12 to 15 gallons to 5 pounds of wax. That'll do 40 traps pretty good. You can see the coating on them. A lot of people say it's too much wax. Too much wax on that trap, buddy. Shake some of that off. Why? Why? If that trap's going to be in the ground for 3 months, thinking of the longevity of a wet winter, that trap's going to shake. More wax, the better. As long as it don't hinder it from tripping or setting, I'm fine with it. But I got a lot of things in the works. Got a lot of new stuff going on as far as the trap line. Got some obstacles to work around. Now, if you've been trapping 10 years or 20 years, or you do that for a living and that's your life and that's all you've ever done, if you've got a set line, you run that line for 30 years. Every year there will be something different about that line if you'll notice, if you'll pay attention. I've just been trapping. This makes my 5th year, and it's been something to learn every year. Every year. It's like Christmas every day on the trap line. Never know what you're going to get. But I hope you'll follow along with us. I hope you'll stay with us. Been spending a lot of time in this old wood shop, trying to make ends meet. It's working out pretty good for me. Thankful for that. Trap season's coming, and I've got to work in between because I'm going to be there, and I hope you follow along with me. But this is Roland Smith, Mountain Bushcrafters Alliance. As always, go farther and stay longer. I'll catch you out in the field.